We're switching gears now to the economy. Inflation hitting everybody hard right now for several months, but especially those on fixed incomes. However, some relief is on the way today. The next cost of living increase will be announced for Social Security recipients. It is expected to be the biggest, in fact, in decades.
Now, this increase is predicted to be 8.5% to 9% for 66 million people who really depend on this. That amounts to between $142 to $150 extra dollars a month. Now, this would be the fourth largest increase. The top three happened from 1979 to 1981, the highest being 14.3%. That was back in 1980.
For some context now, we want to bring in Danielle Roberts, co-founder of Boomer Benefits, an insurance agency specializing in Medicare-related insurance products. Thanks so much for giving us some time. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Just talk about the significance of this increase. How many folks roughly will see it? And during a time of inflation, an extra $100 plus $150 a month, what good do you think that will do for the average American, who many of whom desperately depend on Social Security to get by in their older and post-retirement years?
Yeah, to those of us still working, $140 a month or so doesn't seem like much. But considering that about 40% of people on Social Security depend on Social Security for more than 50% of their income, this is indeed a pretty big check. And what really compounds that, these benefits will be increasing this year at the same time that the Medicare Part B premiums will be going down. So the projected 8.5% increase in Social Security benefits will actually feel like around 10% to people on Social Security, and that's significant when you're living on a fixed income.
Yeah, really, I mean, every dollar counts. So for Social Security recipients whose benefits, let's say, do not cover all of their costs, what options do they have for other income? Can you collect Social Security and still continue to work? How does that work?
Yeah, you certainly can, and we do see more and more Americans doing that. But what we might see with inflation, the COLA inflation rider, what we might see is that more people will pay tax on Social Security. So if you earn over $25,000 as an individual person or $32,000 married, they begin to tax your Social Security benefits. And the more that you are earning on the side, you could see 85% of your Social Security benefits taxed. So there's a little bit of a double-edged sword there. We need to work to have the extra income, but then when that happens, we also see the tax on Social Security.
Now, 2035 could be an important year, and we all have been hearing about the demise of Social Security and how long it can stay solvent. That's been an issue for forever. So that's the year they say that 2035 may be the year we kind of hit the wall. In fact, Republican Senator Rick Scott has a plan to, quote, sunset all federal legislation in 5 years. After that, Congress would be required to reauthorize every federal law, including those that govern Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. Basically, the feds would have a chance every 5 years under this plan to kind of tinker with and up whatever the program. What's your position on that? What kind of impact would that potentially have?
Yeah, there are some concerns there. There's no question that Congress needs to act on Social Security and Medicare because of the upcoming fund depletions. And when we have an increase this year, we're going to deplete those funds even sooner. This is after the pandemic already did that. So they need to act. However, Democrats would say that if we sunset programs like Social Security and Medicare and have to re-vote on them every 5 years, that this could create a lot of economic turmoil and uncertainty for seniors.
And real quick question. A lot of people don't know this. I bring this up all the time. What most Americans may not realize is that once you cross a certain salary threshold in this country, this year it's roughly $147,000, $150,000. If you make more than that, they stop taking Social Security out of your check. Once you pay your 6.2%, then literally that money just goes back into your check as take home. So it strikes me as interesting. If someone makes $1 million a year, they only pay $150,000 worth of Social Security tax. So when we talk about the program not being solvent, to me, it seems like you could raise a whole lot of money real quick by either dramatically scaling up that threshold or getting rid of it all together. Why doesn't that happen? It seems like a fairly easy solution.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's just a political football. And certainly these entitlement programs, Social Security and Medicare, are a hot potato. So while they could tax that income, you have one party saying this is a great way to go, another party saying that's not fair. I do think, however, that eventually that will be necessary because, again, we're looking at a deflation of the funds by 2035. And that's just one of the ways that Congress has proposed that we could make up some of that shortfall.
All right, Danielle Roberts, founding partner at Boomer Benefits. Thanks for sharing your expertise this morning. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.